some of the impact that we wanted to make on Company A. We also think that John should reaffirm his interest in Company A, let them know that the reason why he came essentially on this trip was to interview with them, and that he wants to work for them. We want John to inform Company A that if comparable offers are made by all companies involved, that they will accept Company A's offer over the others due to the fact that they were originally the ones that he came into contact with, and he likes what he saw in all the companies that they interviewed with. And then we want John to finish up by thanking Company A for their generosity. They essentially put their neck on the line to invest some money into John to bring him to the new location to interview with them. So we want him to thank the company for their generosity and their hospitality. Here are some of the reasons why we believe that this proposed action will be the best for all parties involved. There's no more money influenced in John's decision, so by refunding the money in full to Company A, John no longer has a cloud of judgment. He doesn't feel obligated that he needs to accept the offer from Company A. He can accept the offer that he feels is the best for him, with the best company for him. It no longer violates the code of ethics on John's part. John is no longer in the seat to any of the companies involved. They're all on equal playing field now. It's just up to them to make an offer to John, which they feel is appropriate. Company A is no longer at risk. We feel that with them investing some money in John by paying for his travel expenses, that they were to essentially be at risk, as if John would not accept the offer from Company A, then they would be out the money that they've invested into John. But by John refunding the money in full, then that means that if you were to accept an offer from another company, Company A would not be out any monetary expenses. It would just be out potential excellent employee. And then it finishes off by John comes across as being honest and ethical, which is essentially what we all want to strive to be in both our professional and our personal lives. So with that, we will open up for any questions that you guys might have.
Wouldn't they accepting the money in the first place more or less make him kind of tilted for Company A no matter what, because he's already accepted it? Even if he gives it back, he's already gotten to the point where it would have affected him some.
The reason why he originally accepted the money was he only planned on interviewing with that company when he went out there, but then when he got there, he really liked the area, really fell in love with it, really wanted to make sure that he got a job. His wife already had a job in the area, so then that's why when he went on an interview with some of the other companies, then it kind of becomes unethical in that sense, and then that's why we believe that we would want to go and return the money to the other companies. Or to Company A's.
Any other questions, Tom?
So, should he talk to his wife about this?
That was one of the options that was a very popular option, but we felt that only that when people voted on that option, we thought that was the only action that he would do, and we thought that was kind of like a cop out. I mean, obviously communication with your spouse is very important. If you don't have that in a relationship, then you're probably not going to stay married for very long. So yes, he would want to communicate with his wife, but I mean, we thought that was kind of like a thing that you should do no matter what. It shouldn't really be like something that you should vote on what we should do.
Not really assumed then. But
Well, because the way how the study was set up is that you got to choose from only one option, and one of these the one option was to talk with your spouse about it, and that was like 17% of the vote. Some of these other options had 22%, 21%. But we felt that if we were only talking to your spouse, that would kind of be like not really taking care of the situation.
Yeah, but you can sort of hybridize these responses.
Okay.
Just for future reference for others here. So, is it possible? I mean, you mentioned that you want to avoid deceptive acts. At the same time, you indicated that there's no real reason for John to disclose that I want to do this in part because I want to be impartial in my decision making, which I agree with. I don't think it's like, well, what do we care from the perspective of the company? But I wonder, so how much are you obligated to disclose so that you're not being deceptive?
Right.
He doesn't have any contract. with this firm. And they haven't stipulated. There's nothing in the case that suggests, we're stipulating that you can talk only to us. And so why disclose? What's the? I mean, is this? There's no contractual obligation,
right?
And so if you're feeling like, okay, I have to tell them this, then what do you not have to tell them, and why?
Well, we feel that Company A may not have offered to pay for all of his travel expenses. They may not have offered to pay for both his flight and his hotel and meals had they known that he was interviewing with other companies.
But they didn't stipulate that he not talk to anybody else, so they kind of left they sort of left it to him to make a decision, right?
We feel that, not necessarily on Company A's part, but more on what John feels by him accepting the money from the other companies, that it's kind of like an informal contract. There's nothing in writing, but he almost feels like by taking some money from Company A that he, essentially feels like he is, more leaning towards Company A.
Did you think about applying any of the tests to this, and what would some of the tests give you in terms of results for making this decision? Like, for instance, the reversibility test. Okay. If you are now not in John's shoes, but you're in the firm's shoes, what do you feel like? What kind of action would be appropriate to take?
It's like if you found out that you paid for someone to come down and then they were interviewing with your rivals, I don't think you would think that that's fair. Like, if you're Company A, I don't think you'd think it was fair that John came down and interviewed with all other companies, and none of your other rivals lost any money by this. You're investing in John, and yet he's going out and interviewing with other companies. So by not telling them anything, I think that would fail the reversibility test. Because they could still find out about it. The thing is that they might be in contact with their rival companies, so they could find out about it, and they might get upset about that, about knowing that he interviewed with other companies on their money.
Just one other question, and that is, in this I ask at the risk of maybe suggesting that your instructor is ethically compromised, but would it be possible that this could actually backfire on John, that it's possible to appear too scrupulous in these matters, and that they wouldn't want somebody who's so closely dotting I's and crossing T's that this might actually harm his candidacy?
Yeah, that's an option, but I think that if he explains it clearly, that the reasons why he didn't interview with the other companies, that he wasn't guaranteed a position with Company A, and that he needs a job in this new area because he's moving out here. I think that if he makes it clear enough, I think that Company A would understand that, he's moving across the country, he doesn't have employment down here, and he needs to live down here, so I can understand why he wouldn't want to interview with other companies, and he's being straightforward with his response.
Do you indicate that you're moving regardless?
Well, his wife already has a job.
Yeah, but do you tell them that? Is that another thing that you're obligated to disclose?
To the companies?
Right.
Well, that might kind of give a little bit of leverage to the companies as far as if they're giving an offer or not.
Okay.
So we might not want to. We might want to, leave that back out of there, but. That's not good. If we were to not tell them that, we don't feel that would be too deceitful.
Okay.
It wouldn't really violate the code of ethics.
Yeah, it might hurt your negotiation, especially if the living expenses or something like that. Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.